Hey, Oz.
Hey, Curtis.
Hey, what movie are we watching this week?
You know, when I was putting together a movie marriage for this week, I thought of this combination of films:
Okay.
Commando,
Mm-hmm.
True Lies,
Right.
Dazed and Confused,
Definitely.
all brought to you by DoorDash. This week, we're talking about Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Walk me through things. I'm following, but I want to hear how you piece this
Okay.
together. Yeah.
Well, they kick off at the mall,
Yeah. Okay.
which is the same mall from Commando.
There we go. Okay.
And then we meet a plethora of people.
Mm-hmm. That we do.
Phoebe Cates being the ringleader of this next one of just outlandish statements.
Yeah.
Hence the True Lies. Like,
Yeah.
it's all fabricated, but
Yeah.
I'm telling it to you, so it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Dazed and Confused for the somewhat obvious.
Sure. Yeah. The high school parallels and
the high school parallels, but also the really like non-Hollywood high school. You know, where just this felt like, yeah, that's what high school was like in the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And then ordered a pizza, brought it straight to the classroom. So
Yeah.
it again, like I mentioned right before, we hit record, that, movies like this that don't really have a clear plot are tricky, not only to discuss, but they're tricky to movie marriage as well. And they can be. And so this one, I was like, man, Commando and True Lies. And then I thought, can I Schwarzenegger the rest of this movie marriage?
I like Schwarzenegger as a verb.
Yeah, I just like, I had to, and it didn't really hit me until I looked at it a second time. I'm like, man, my first two are both Schwarzenegger movies. Can I fit the rest of it in?
Yeah.
And then I was like, nah, I gotta go high school somewhere. So
yeah.
But welcome back, listener viewers, to another week of Let's Talk About Flicks, the podcast. We take a monthly theme. We're in week 3 of educational films.
That we are at episode 199.
199. The clock is about to strike 200. I'm one of your hosts, Oz.
I am the other host, Curtis.
And we definitely want to give a shout out to our favorite Patreon subscribers, Don S., Aaron A., Amanda K., Melissa L., Colin K., and Lyle M. Thank you guys, one and all, for your patronage. So, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's a movie that, to be fair, originally our choice was 3 O'Clock High, a high school movie starring Richard Tyson as like the school bully. It's got kind of a high noonish kind of feel to it. It's a very fun, I just kind of overlooked, underrated, I think 80s, 80s comedy, late 80s comedy. But my wife was like, well, you guys doing Fast Times? And I'm like, yes, we are.
We are now.
We are now. So this brings us to Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Who's in this movie?
Yeah, who's not in this movie?
Exactly. And it's one of those where they weren't anybody yet.
Yeah, correct. This movie started the careers for at least a half a dozen different people. Before we get into the cast, though, I think it's also worth mentioning that this movie was directed by Amy Heckerling. Who went on to do Clueless, a bunch of other things, and was written by Cameron Crowe. Yes, Rolling Stones, Cameron Crowe.
Yeah. Nancy Wilson's husband, Cameron Crowe.
Wilson's husband. Yeah, Cameron Crowe. There we go. So, quite a big cast. So I'm just going to kind of rattle off here. We've got the character that everybody knows from this movie. Sean Penn's Jeff Spicoli, your stoner surfer character. We have siblings, Jennifer Jason Leigh as 15-year-old freshman Stacy, and
who thankfully is 19-year-old Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yes.
That'll come up.
Yes, thank you. And then her senior older brother, Brad, played by the one and only acting auteur Judge Reinhold. We have a couple of buddies. We have Robert Romanus as Mike Damone, who's fancies himself as this smooth-talking bookie, basically, and scalper.
Yeah.
We have Brian Backer as his best friend, Mark Ratner.
My name is Mark, but call me Rat.
Call me Rat. works at a local theater in the mall. Very nice guy, but could use a confidence boost.
Yeah.
We've got Phoebe Cates as Linda, Stacy's best friend, and who is also older than her. So just interesting that they're best friends, and despite the age difference there, they work together at a pizza place at the mall. She purports to have an older boyfriend, whom we never meet.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of other people. We've got Vincent Schiavelli as Mr. Vargas, a science teacher. He just switched to Sanka.
Yeah.
We have Ray Walston, my favorite Martian, as Mr. Hand, Spicoli's nemesis. We also have a very young Forrest Whitaker as football player Charles Johnson. We've got an Eric Stoltz. We've got an Anthony Edwards. We've got a James Russo. We've got a Nicholas Cage, aka Nicholas Coppola.
Right.
Let's see.
We got a Kelly Maroney.
Yeah.
She was in Chopping Mall.
We got Stuart,
and Night of the Comet.
We got Stuart Cornfield, who's a player in Hollywood. We've got the aforementioned Nancy Wilson makes a cameo in there as hot girl in car. We've got that Pamela Springsteen has been in stuff like
Amanda Weiss. She was Tina in Nightmare on Elm Street, and John Cusack's girlfriend, and one where he's skiing. I can't remember the name of that one.
One Crazy Summer?
No, it wasn't skiing in One Crazy Summer. It was
no, not One Crazy. I always get those two mixed up.
Better Off Dead.
There we go. I want my $2.
Yeah.
Scott Thompson is in this. He's been in stuff like I mean, there's just a lot of people in this movie.
Yeah.
And the nascent parts of their careers.
Yeah, the casting director of this film is arguably the star.
Yeah, there you go.
Because it's like, again, none of these people were anything.
No.
And so they just launched, and granted, to different degrees of stratosphere, the launch. You know, no one's going to say that Judge Reinhold hit the peak of Sean Penn.
He's a guy you know.
But in the 80s, you saw a lot of Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, I mean, he was in Beverly Hills Cop. That was one of the biggest money makers of the decade.
Yeah, for sure. I almost had Gremlins in my movie Marriage just for another Judge Reinhold, Phoebe Cates.
There you go.
It's like he was still bitter, even later on in life when she's working at a bar and he's vice president at the bank. But yeah, you had the somewhat easier part of the cast, as the plot of this is not there's plotty.
What plot? Yeah, this movie, again, as we always do, we chat pre-show. This movie is all about character journey. It has nothing to do with plot. It's where do the characters end up from point A to point B, not the story, because there is no story.
Right. So for you listeners and viewers at home, if you're following along, you will find more than likely the events of the film are not in the order that I discussed them.
And that's A-okay.
Yeah, it's not a we're trying to make sense of Pulp Fiction. It's not that it's insequential, but it's just a matter of we're going to just discuss things. So first of all,
it's like trying to watch the entire MCU in timeline order, not order of release.
Yeah, you're going to jump around a little bit, and that's okay. So we do start at the mall.
As we do. It's an 80s movie.
Yeah, and it's a mall as we grew up with malls. It's flourishing, and there's people everywhere, and it's the place to go. We meet Brad. Brad's a high school senior. And kudos to Brad for not having senioritis. He's got ambition.
He's a businessman. He's out there to make money, establish a career, finish paying off that car he's got,
that Buick LeSabre.
Yeah.
And honestly, he's starting to feel like his girlfriend's getting in the way.
Yeah, they've been together for 2 years, and it's just not feeling it.
And it takes a lot of nerve to want to break up with 80s Amanda Weiss. She's cute. She's cute as a button.
He was dating up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And he wasn't quite aware of it.
No, he was not.
Because he's got ambition. So, he's working, he's got a job at All American Burger. He runs the grill.
He does.
He's, he could put in a good word with the manager for another guy that wants to get a job there. Like
he's wheeling and dealing.
Yeah. He feels very confident in his place in life.
Yeah. One day he's flipping burgers. The next day he's going to be on Wall Street.
That's right. It's true. You never know. We meet Brad's sister, Stacy, Jennifer Jason Leigh, 15 years old. She's working at Perry's Pizza.
Yep.
She's a freshman and seemingly is most interested in just losing her virginity. Like
that's really all she talks about early.
Yeah. And some of that I feel is brought on by her best friend, Linda.
Older best friend.
Yeah. Older, which I don't think it ever stipulated how. I don't think Linda was a senior.
No.
I don't know if it said. If it did, I missed it.
I was under the impression she was, but yeah. Again, this movie does really hop around, so
right. And so I got more of a sense maybe a junior. Just the way when Brad comes home later and they're at the pool and he's like, hey Linda, hey Brad. It seemed like we were familiar, but not that we've gone to school together forever. I don't know. I'm obviously reading too much into it.
Sure.
But she is very confident. I've got an older boyfriend and we have, our sexual experiences are so vast and detailed. And
it's a relationship you can't imagine because I'm very mature and so is he. And that's the level of our relationship.
It's like, you'll get there someday, but lucky for you, in some ways she's a lot like Brad. I'm in a place where you would love to be, and I'm going to help you get to where I am.
Yeah. You should aspire to be me.
Yeah. Because who wouldn't? It's me. Of course, the older guy she's talking about is Kevin Kline. So
yeah. Handsome man in his own right, Kevin Kline.
Yeah. But again, he's batting up. We meet Damone and Mark, Rat. Rat is basically like an usher at a movie theater in the mall. We never see him in the movie theater at the mall.
We never see him ushing.
Yeah, he's not. He's and then we meet Damone, who basically just Damone is really more like a rat than
that nickname would have fit his character better.
Yeah, Damone reminds me a lot of like Templeton from Charlotte's Web. Just that like sneaky, snaky. I can get you what you want.
Yeah, that's a good comp.
But
Templeton from Charlotte's Web.
But he plays himself. He's slick and he's smooth. And again, he is the Linda character for Rat, for Mark. I've got all the answers. Just come to me. When again, no, he doesn't
have a clue. He's just good at faking it.
Right. And he specializes in basically scalping concert tickets and taking bets and things like that. And so, Damone picks up real quick as we get introduced that Mark has a crush on Stacy, which it's an 80s high school movie. You need some sort of, will they, won't they? And he's encouraging her, like, take her to a restaurant, like you can do this. It's not that hard. Let me give you the tips and the pointers. Here's how you talk to a woman as he goes up to a Debbie Harry stand-up.
Yeah, like his 5-point, like how to date. That reminded me of in Always Sunny. Oh God, why am I Dennis? Dennis has his 6-point techniques for wooing women, and it's an acronym of the name Dennis. And of course, because it's Always Sunny, it's like don't pay attention to them, like insult them, and every. It's because Dennis might be a serial killer,
right? Yeah, and that's kind of what it is. It's don't follow your heart, follow my advice.
Follow my heart,
because I've got absolutely zero skin in the game.
No,
so just just do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
So he encouraged, like there's some, we'll come back around to the German restaurant date. Again, I'm kind of just going at it as characters here.
Yeah.
Again, the aforementioned Spicoli, which, fortunate for Sean Penn, and because he nailed this role.
Yeah.
But it's like, if this movie's not about Spicoli. No, not at all.
He's there for laughs.
Yeah, he's the through line for just and credit to Amy Heckerling, who like figured that out quick, and Cameron Crowe as well. Like, we're going to write this in, and it's like, if Sean Penn didn't nail it, then he becomes the most annoying character in this movie.
Well, he's the connective tissue amongst a lot of these storylines, like at the end.
In some way, it's like he's the McLovin character in Superbad.
Kind of, yeah, like, he later in the film, he sneaks out of the field trip and he shows up there, and he shows up at the convenience store where Brad's working, and he shows up with Forrest Whitaker's younger brother, and it's so if there is a plot here, it is very loosely driven by the Spicoli character. Not that he's doing anything; he just shows up places.
He's connected to everybody and everything.
Yeah,
he's like. I keep going to these weird animal comps, these weird rodent comps. He's like a capybara. Everybody gets along with him.
Everybody loves a capybara.
Yeah, like, you see these videos, and like they're hanging out with crocodiles, and like there's like, they're not a predator of anything, and they're not a prey of anything. Everyone loves being around them.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
Except Mr. Hand.
Yeah, they're harmless, and they're just kind of fun to be with.
Yeah, and they're kind of doofy looking, and I think that's Spicoli in this movie. Yeah. He's the capybara of the cinema of this film.
Well, and as you were insinuating a moment ago, kudos to both Cameron Crowe and Heckerling for choosing his character to be the one, because when you see him on screen, you lean in a little more.
Oh, like, absolutely.
Spicoli. Yeah. You're waiting for one of his lines or one of his moments. Yeah. Just to kind of liven back up, especially some of the heavier stuff.
Well, and because he's in some ways, he's the only one you can't identify with.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him so magnetic, is what's he going to do now? Like,
well, yeah, he reacts in ways that most people wouldn't.
Yeah.
And he's willing to do things that most people wouldn't.
Yeah. And so he's a very fun character. Of course, and his nemesis is Mr. Hand, the history teacher that just wants to teach history and wants you to sit in your desk and listen to me lecture, and you will learn and I will teach. And
it's a very Batman Joker relationship where Mr. Hand is Batman.
Yes.
And Spicoli is Joker, the anarchist who's just living for the moment.
But at the same time, like, is bringing life to my career. Like, I kind of need you. And so we get this over the course of the film, we get this weird level of like borderline respect for the two of them.
Yeah.
For each other. Like, they understand their role in it. Because even later on, when Hand shows up at Spicoli's house, Spicoli doesn't flip out.
No. He's surprised, but
he accepts it.
He accepts it and goes with it.
Yeah. And it is what it is. So, there's kind of our intro to the characters. We see Stacy flirting with an older guy at the pizza restaurant. He's a stereo salesman, Ron Johnson,
26-year-old,
and she's flirting at Linda's request. Go flirt with him. So and he
laugh at anything he says.
Yeah, how old are you? I'm 19. I'm like, okay. To be fair, she was, like, Jennifer Jason Leigh was 19, but a very baby-faced 19.
Yeah,
very soft 19.
Yeah, they really did everything they could to make her look 15.
Yeah, and they did a pretty good job of it. And so, want to go on a date? Sure. Where do you want to go? Let's go to the Point, or whatever they call it.
Yeah, the Point.
Which is just a deserted baseball dugout. It's just so gross.
It's definitely the place to go woo a woman.
Yeah, like I think every teenage girl longs to be taken to the abandoned baseball dugout that still somehow has electricity running to it.
Yes. Hey, Patreon subscriber Melissa L., you want to go hang out in the dugout? Hey, I'll even bring a ratty blanket to lay down.
It's true. And so she very promptly and willingly, I think that's important to note,
yes,
loses her virginity to 26-year-old Ron Johnson.
Yeah.
As a 15-year-old girl. She found it was very painful and just uncomfortable.
Yep. Emotionally and physically.
Wasn't near the romance that she thought it would be.
Nope. One of my favorites, I don't know if favorite's the right way to put it, but one of the the moments in this movie that I think is, because this movie is lauded for its authenticity.
Very much so.
The authentic teenage experience, and
Right.
one of the little moments in this movie I think that nails that is her reaction during this. And
Yes.
there's just a couple quick cutaways. It's a POV of her looking up at the ceiling
Yeah.
of the dugout
Yeah.
and
He's bored.
realizing this is the place where where one of these life moments,
Yeah.
these defining life moments, is happening in an abandoned baseball dugout.
Yeah. This is a milestone for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it is what it is.
Mhm.
You know, he sends her flowers the next day. She's over it, which I do love about that character. You know, as a teenage girl, like you said, she processed the whole, like, that was it, huh? Like, you know, he sends her flowers and she's just like, got to get rid of these, because she's not lusting after Ron Johnson.
No, she's not. And she doesn't want her parents to see him and start
Right.
asking who's this guy.
Yeah. Even Linda's, you know, just she talked to Brad, could you put him in the trunk of your car? Like, let's get rid of this.
Yeah.
I love Brad and Linda's, or not Linda. I love Brad and Stacy's relationship.
Yeah.
You know, he's the I'll look out for you older brother, you know, doesn't get
still annoyed by his younger sister.
Yes, but he loves her and realizes she's got her own life to live, and he's there for her.
Yeah, so he helps her get rid of the flowers who he brings to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And, you sure you paid for these? Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course I did. Where else would they have come from?
Right. And so it's just a fun dynamic there.
Yeah.
You know, she's telling Linda about it, and Linda's just like, what, you know, pass it off, whatever. We get this weird, like, Stacy's still like, okay, that's it, but what, there's got to be more. We get the famous carrot scene where Linda teaches Stacy how to add more to her arsenal.
Sure.
Via carrot.
Much to the delight of a dozen 15-year-old boys sitting next to them
that, you know, were just watching.
I think all panting, cartoonishly panting.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, Stacy and Mark have science class together. You know, he really falls head over heels for her there.
He does. He's a true romantic.
He is. And he's a shy, awkward high school kid.
There's a lot of young Curtis in Rats. There's a lot of young Curtis there.
Yeah.
Taking too much feedback from peers.
Same.
And just not allowing confidence into the picture.
Right. Yeah. That's the last thing that should be part of it. It's being confident in yourself.
There's a great Troy McClure on The Simpsons bit where he's doing an infomercial and you know, try my self-help video. Get confident, stupid.
It's accurate though.
It is, yes.
So, you know, he goes back to Damone. What do I do? And this is where we get more, you know, encouragement. And he asks her on a date, and they, you know, at work, you know, he works up the bravery, walks over.
Yeah.
So if she'd like to do so.
Yeah. Good for Rat.
And she agrees. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they go to a German restaurant.
Very German restaurant.
Very German restaurant. And sitting in these like thrones, like they look.
I watched this. I watched this movie a couple of weeks ago, and then I watched it again over the last couple of days at like 1.5 times speed, just to you know, get it back in the front of my brain. And that scene, I really enjoy that scene even more than I have before. Kind of watching it through the prep for the show lens.
Yeah.
And you know, the chairs are twice as big as they are.
Yes, and it makes these kids look like children.
Look like kids, and that's the point.
Yeah.
They're supposed to look out of their element,
and they are.
They're 15, 16-year-olds, you know, pretending to be in their mid-20s. You know, they're acting the part that they think they should be. This is how adults go on dates. This is how adults interact. But visually, as you said, they literally look like children because of how they dress the set. And I absolutely love how that set direction plays into how you're viewing this moment between these two characters.
Yeah. It was just a very wise choice again for a debut directing.
Yeah.
You know, like, Amy Heckerling took some, I won't say took some chances, but she put some thought behind the choices, and it really shows here. So, Rat forgets his wallet, calls Damone, who Damone's just watching like Leave It to Beaver. Like, here's this supposedly like cool guy. He's at home. He's just at home. So can you bring me my wallet? Which he does, but again, because he's not really a good friend.
He's not.
He originally he plays it up of like, hey buddy, how you doing? And then quickly just, you forgot your wallet and I brought it to you.
Yeah. Damone's he's a jerk.
No. Yeah, he's probably my least favorite character in the movie.
I think you're supposed to realize that.
Yeah.
Especially as we get to the scene later on between him and Stacy. But like you start seeing these moments of it just, he's just as insecure as everybody else.
Right.
And he masks that by humiliating people around him.
Yeah. If I'll bring them down, I'll feel better. Afterwards, we got Linda and Stacy at the pool, and Damone talks Mark into just showing up. I don't know how he knew they were swimming, but whatever. Yeah. Just showing up. So they show up, and we really see the first evidence of Stacy's a kid. Like Linda is a woman, like she plays herself up that way.
That's what she wants you to think.
Yeah. She plays herself up that way. And when Stacy is around her, Stacy tries to play up as well. And then Mark and Damone show up, and then they instantly go to horseplay, which Mark doesn't really want to be there because he's like, we weren't invited, whatever. They instantly go to like high school boys around girls, just
pushing each other into the pool.
And we see Stacy immediately reverts to play. Like, I'm gonna go play, not flirt, but just they're having fun, and that seems more appealing to me right now. Which of course Linda's rolling her eyes.
She's just sitting on the diving board. Ugh. Children.
Exactly. Right. And so and then Brad comes home from work. Was Brad, I think he was at the pirate place at this point.
Because he got fired from All American Burger,
right? Because for following policy,
for a confrontation with a customer.
He did escalate. He's also, Brad's in a dark spot as what was his girlfriend's name?
Lisa
beat him to the punch. He's at a football game and he's like, I just gotta let her go, like she's holding me back, I've got dreams and aspirations. So he's talking to her, and she was like, I think we should probably break up, which of course floors him. Because that you took my line. Like, so now he's really reeling. Brad is.
Brad's a planner, as you said before. He's got aspirations, and this is how my life is gonna go, and it quickly goes off the rails.
So back at the burger place, like we'd mentioned, this is again out of sequence, but there's a customer who ordered breakfast and it wasn't a very good breakfast, and he wanted his money back. And Brad's like, we got to fill out this form. You guys, just give me the money, but you got to fill out this form. Like it's how it works. Just reach to the register and give me my money. You got to fill out a form. And it just gets very belligerent and starts yelling at the guy, which then the manager comes out and just fires Brad. So Brad finds a new job at like this Captain Hook fish and chips. He dresses as a pirate.
Straight out of like SpongeBob.
So he comes home and you get dressed as a pirate, and Stacy is in the pool with the guys. Linda's on the diving board just looking bored. But again, Linda's on the diving board in a bathing suit, and Brad's single. So we get this, you sent me the meme, and it's so gross. of Brad goes,
it's like sitting in the bathroom, just opening the window and closing it.
Looking at Linda getting and then we get the very probably the one scene this movie is known for. Is Brad's
his fantasy sequence.
Very well stated. Yes, his fantasy sequence of Linda diving into the pool and then getting out to the cars moving in stereo. As she walks towards the camera.
With the water pouring down and backlit.
It's a fantasy sequence as she opens the front of her bathing suit, revealing, her Phoebes. Her Phoebe and Kate. as Brad is in the bathroom doing Brad things.
Yeah. Well said. Doing Brad things.
Cut back to the reality of everything that he just fantasized happening. She dives in, but then immediately gets out of the water because you got a Q-tip, I got water in my ear. Yeah, they're in the bathroom. Well, we know Brad's in the bathroom. So she does just you knock on a closed bathroom door.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you knock.
You knock.
Well, he even says that afterwards. Doesn't anybody knock around here?
Yeah. So she barges in and sees what Brad is doing, and of course flees and panic. And he stops, of course, but he doesn't really he's not embarrassed. He doesn't seem to.
He's more annoyed than anything.
Does anybody knock? So that's a fun scene and a very popular scene. But again, we're talking about a high school girl. Yeah. Not that there's any saving grace to this, but at least this movie was directed by a female.
Yeah.
And
again, and it's from the perspective in this scene of a high school boy.
Yes, in a fantasy sequence. Again, we're not sugarcoating it.
Yeah, there's still ickiness to it.
Yes, but I'm glad it's not some 55-year-old man directing this movie.
Yeah, it's not Ron Johnson in the bathroom.
Exactly. Yeah. Ugh, it's still.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, again, this movie definitely hits us different now than it did when we were. Yeah, of course. Watching this at Brad's age.
Well, and this is a good movie because it's one of those, it captures the zeitgeist of the generation.
For sure.
Like an American Graffiti, I mean, even Heckerling's film 13 years later, Clueless has aspects of that.
Yep.
It's when you watch this movie and what generation you're from, this movie hits differently.
Yeah, for sure. So that's the Brad Linda thing going on. Stacy's starting to flirt with Damone, even with Mark around. She's, and I don't really know why. Well, I do know why.
The confidence. It's all about confidence.
Well, and after the German restaurant, she invited Mark into the house. And he came in and she's like, I'm going to go change. And she changed into something much more revealing and was basically willing to provide to Rat what she provided to Ron Johnson. And because he's an upstanding kid, he realized fairly quickly, I'm not ready for this.
He got nervous and excused himself.
Which again is the best thing that could have happened in that scene.
Yeah.
He didn't take advantage of her. Not that it would have been taking advantage, because she was clearly, there was consent there.
Yeah. But they're still both underage.
Yes. And he still was just I'm not comfortable with this. He leaves, which of course to then Stacy is he's not interested.
Yeah. That's how she took it. Again, and another one of those authentic moments where, that's her perception. If he wasn't interested, he would have stayed, and he just got nervous and left.
Yeah, so he's clearly not interested.
Yeah, but he didn't state it that way. He made up I got to get my sister's car back. And
yeah, she really doesn't like it when her car. So she's frustrated, and so cut back to the pool scene. She's like, "Well, Mark's here, but Mark's not interested." So there's Damone. Damone isn't really interested either. At first, he's trying to be respectful of Mark's desire for Stacy. And so even at school, we see Stacy writing Stacy Damone on her notebooks. She's trying to talk to him in the hallways, and he's trying to cast her off. I'm not, no, it's what about Mark? Stuff like that. That does escalate later when she invites Damone to go swimming, and he's like, I don't have any trunk, or he walks her home, and do you want to go swimming? And he's like, I don't have any trunk. We've got some for you. And they go in the pool house, and she provides to Damone what she provided to Ron Johnson. And he, again, another very underwhelming experience for Stacy. We're talking seconds.
Yep.
And he skates. I gotta go, Stacy. I gotta get out of here. Cut to back at Perry's Pizza as Linda and Stacy are having a conversation. Stacy's like, how long does your boyfriend last? Oh, 30 to 40 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, didn't you say it was this long? Oh, whatever. I get confused. And she's literally slicing pepperoni.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, how long was Damone? Oh, 20 minutes. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good for a high school.
For a high schooler. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good for a high school boy, which of course it was more, like 20 seconds than 20 minutes.
But again, just trying to pretend like that this is what sex is for adults. And
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Your True Lies comp from before. Yeah.
So Brad's at Captain Hook Fish and Chips, and he's supposed to go. It's just a silly throwaway scene. If he's supposed to go, I think, deliver food to a certain place that's a decent distance away.
Yeah, it was like an IBM corporate headquarters or something like that.
So he goes and he starts to change out of his pirate costume just to do his regular clothes.
Put his civvies on.
Yeah, and the manager's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "It's not comfortable to wear." He's like, "But you're at work.
You're a representative."
Yeah, of Captain Hook's Fish and
Chips. You put that uniform back on.
So he puts it on and he starts driving through town dressed as a pirate. Pulls up and Nancy Wilson pulls up in a car next to him, and he's trying to flirt because again, Brad's a single man.
Yeah, it's Nancy Wilson.
He's trying to flirt because she's a pretty woman, and she's laughing at him. Because again, you're dressed like a pirate, and you're Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, and it's more your Judge Reinhold,
right? So he basically just quits. Throws his pirate hat out the window, starts throwing the food out the window. Like he
drives off.
It just drives off. He quits. So he's unemployed again. Stacy, things get real here, but again,
yes, they do.
But I appreciate that because again, we can't just sugarcoat all Hollywood high school movies as everything ties up nicely. That there's no consequences to your actions.
Yeah, you beat me to the word. There's consequences to things, and we get a pretty starkly real moment of that right now.
Stacy's pregnant.
Yeah,
the timeline of this film is it doesn't matter. Like there's no evidence that this film takes place over a couple of weeks or a couple of months or a whole school year. Like is.
Yeah, I think the impression is it speed runs a school year.
I agree. That's how I felt too. And I think some of that was just based on like the timing of like a dance or how many jobs Brad has had. Like there's those little background things that say, well,
there was a couple of moments where there was like a mall Santa.
Yeah. Like time has passed. They were granted we're in LA. You could be at the pool all year long, but so she goes to Damone. She's like, I'm pregnant, and she's not mad at him for it. I'm pregnant, and he's like, you gotta get an abortion. Like that's what we have to do here. And she agrees, and she's like, but I want, it's $150. And he's like, well, you expect me to pay for it? And she's just real. She's like, I want you to pay for half of it.
Yeah. And
give me a ride. Like that. And to credit Damone, he's like, I that's the least I could do. Like, okay. Right. I mean, again, he's not mad at her. He's obviously frustrated. Understandable.
He's reactive at first, but then
he is.
She keeps her cool the whole time. She
does, and I'm proud of her character for that. Of like, come on, man. Like, this wasn't all you. It wasn't all me. Like, these are the consequences of what happened. And so he agrees. Okay. And we get a scene where he's calling people that owe him money. You need $75, but he also needs $60 for some tickets. And, you got people telling him like, I just don't have the money right now. And it's like, well, you needed the tickets. I came through, Yeah. And so he agrees he'll pick her up and he flakes on her.
Yeah.
And she's standing out on the curb waiting for a ride to the abortion clinic or Planned Parenthood or whatever. He doesn't show up. Brad comes home. And, she improvises, Brad, you give me a ride. Give me a ride to the bowling alley.
Yeah, and, which happens to be across the street from the clinic. Yeah.
And he agrees. So he gives a ride to the bowling alley and pulls away and looks in his rearview mirror and sees her running back across the street. So she gets taken care of what she needs to get taken care of, and she comes out. They aren't going to let her leave. And she's like, well, my boyfriend's waiting for me downstairs. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
have,
Okay.
have a good day. Like, and Brad's outside waiting for her. And he just goes, I didn't think you liked bowling.
Yeah.
And, she, just don't say anything,
Yeah. He asks, or I think he says, you're not going to tell me who it was. And she's just, no. And he respects that.
He does. Yeah. And, and he's a cool big brother.
Yeah.
Like, Brad's not a cool character by any means.
But he's a good brother.
But he's a good brother. And so, he gives her a ride home, and when she was abandoned by who she needed help from, her brother stepped up and stepped in.
Yeah.
So, word gets back. Well,
she talks to Linda on the phone.
Yeah, she tells to Linda, and Linda is livid.
Yeah, that is the exact word I took down as well, in all caps, is livid.
And she, despite the trying to impress Stacy with her very clearly false stories, and Stacy being young and naive enough to believe them all, Linda does care about Stacy.
Yeah.
And when she tells, and Linda goes and like, what was the word that she had basically like keyed his car, and
she called him a little prick.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on repeat.
Like, yeah.
Key, like, scraped it into the side of his car.
Spray painted his locker.
Like, so word got out that what had happened.
Yeah.
Word got back to Mark. So we are finding, again, I haven't talked about Spicoli in 20 minutes. But where Mark has a confrontation with Damone about basically, how could you?
Yeah.
What kind of friend are you? You know how I felt about her. How could you? And Damone basically does what Damone does, like,
just deflects.
Deflects and defends his actions or whatever. And so we get kind of a divide there. Their fight gets broken up by the PE teacher.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been much of a fight.
I think it would have been a couple of slaps and
a couple of like dweebs duking it out.
Yeah, somebody gets a nosebleed, but not because they got hit, but just because they're nervous.
Yeah, Spicoli and Hand have had this back and forth where the details of them don't matter. It's just this adversarial thing where
it keeps happening in the classroom.
Right. And Spicoli keeps giving in to what Hand required. Well, you need to be to class on time. Okay. So one day he shows up to class on time, and Hand is almost like you're up to something.
Yeah.
Well, he has a pizza delivered to the door.
Another one of the defining moments of this movie.
Pizza delivered to the high school door. And so Spicoli thinks, I got him. I'm here on time. I got him, which, and to be fair, Spicoli does say some profound things. Like Hand will be like, why are you wasting my time? And Spicoli's like, well, if I'm here and you're here, isn't it our time? Like, but again, just kind of surfer stoner stuff that you're like, oh, he makes a valid point. Like, he's not
in his own way.
It's he makes sense. So this whole our time thing is Hand takes this pizza and he's like, well, if you had a pizza delivered to class, it must be our pizza.
Yeah. So
who wants a slice? And starts dishing out this pizza, which then again Spicoli outsmarted. No way, like and it's just a fun relationship these two have. It's not plot driven at all. But
no, it's just these little vignettes.
Yeah, it's in some way. And again, not to tie in another movie, but it's like the squirrel stuff in the Ice Age films.
Sure. Yeah.
It's
moments that are inconsequential to the real arc, but
kind of comic relief in ways, but then it's gone, but he'll come back later.
The raccoons in the great outdoors.
Exactly. So with Spicoli, he's out joyriding in Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker being the like star of the football team.
Yes.
He's joyriding in his Camaro with his little brother.
Yeah, with Forrest Whitaker's little brother.
Right.
Baby Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
Goo goo gaga.
They're
I'm gonna take the smallest Lego and put it in my mouth.
But they're
this is a baba. Mama's milk.
Keep going.
Yeah. I'm done. We're done. Sorry.
No, it's fine. But they're smoking weed and he's again driving his car. Charles Jefferson. And his brother's like, "You're gonna wreck my car." "No, man, it's fine." Well, he does end up
wrecks the car.
In which he's like, "My brother's gonna kill me." Like, understandably, because he walks around almost like the kid in summer school that goes to the bathroom at the beginning of the school year.
And then you don't see him till the end. Yeah.
It's like that's kind of Forrest Whitaker's character. You never really see him, but when he's around, he's clearly the presence. Like
he's literally and figuratively big man on campus.
Yes. And so this, what are we gonna do? And Spicoli's like, "I can fix this." Like
my what do you say? My
dad's a TV repairman.
Got this gnarly set of tools.
Like, I can fix this. So cut to like the big game, the day of school of the big game. And we get all of like, I don't remember who they're playing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Lincoln High. And so they're putting up banners and making posters. Like, it's the big, we're gonna.
One of the banners said "Assassinate Lincoln."
Exactly. Yeah, we're gonna defeat Lincoln High.
We're gonna take Lincoln to the Ford Theater.
You're very specific. Yeah, we're gonna take down Lincoln High, and so that's the big setup for this. Cut to Jefferson's car outside, still all smashed up. But basically Spicoli fixed it by like spray painting like Lincoln was here or something like that, like to where that's how he fixed it, was that somebody from Lincoln High stole your car.
Pretty smart of Spicoli, actually.
Very smart of Spicoli, as he basically stands back and watches Jefferson discover this. As I think I'm going to change my
Okay.
Based on this scene. Yeah, and so cut to the game. Jefferson is just full of rage.
Yeah.
And it just turns into NFL blitz on
he's leg dropping people.
Exactly. This whole everybody gets out of the way so he could just annihilate this running back at the handoff kind of thing. He's
like hitting the trampoline and jumping over the line.
Yeah, you've got like the program style football scenes here. But Spicoli, again, I won't say he's not overly like proud of himself. It's just more like, I solved that problem, man. Like, I said I'd fix it, and I did. It never comes back again, but it's just fun.
Yeah.
And they're up like 42-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
Cut to, there's a graduation dance, and Spicoli's getting ready to go to the dance. Because he hangs out with Eric Stoltz and Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
And his brother comes. His room is wood paneled. It's covered in like Playboy cutouts.
Yeah.
Like, that's Spicoli. And it's not even any rhyme or reason. It's just taped up on the walls.
Yeah,
like,
it's just, well, there's something I like. On the wall it goes.
There's TNA everywhere in this house. And his brother's like...
His little brother named Curtis.
His little brother named Curtis comes to the door, and he's like, "Hey, Spicoli, someone's here to see you." And he's like... "Why are you in my room without knocking?" So the brother goes outside, closes the door, and knocks. "You may enter." Comes in. "Somebody's here to see you." Like, it's so stupid. It's like, I'm not even listening to you until you tell me what it's about. Well, it's Mr. Hand, who makes a comment earlier in the film.
Yep.
When Spicoli, he's like, "Why would you do these things in my classroom? Would you want me to come to your house and talk about U.S. history?" Which, that's exactly what Hand. Yep. Yeah, that's what Hand does here. Shows up at Spicoli's house, and he's like, "I've calculated that you owe me about 8 hours
Mm-hmm.
of skipped class time. And so we're going to make it up right now. And they sit in Spicoli's room for a very long portion of the night.
Presumably 8 hours.
It's presumably 8 hours.
Yeah.
His parents are fine with it, by
Yeah.
the way.
Having a 50-something-year-old man just sitting in their teenage boy's room talking about U.S. history.
Until Hand is satisfied with Spicoli's understanding of history.
Yeah.
They shake hands, and it's like there's this moment of like just mutual respect.
Yeah.
Like Spicoli's like, all right, I see that you really do care about education.
Mm-hmm.
And Hand is like, you didn't really fight me on this. Like,
yeah,
because that's Spicoli. I don't think he fights on anything. He just, oh, no way. And then
there's disbelief, but then okay, and then he just accepts it and moves on.
I do love the first time he comes late to class, he's got his shirt unbuttoned and a bagel tucked into his pants. Yeah. like not in like a weird sexual way, but just that's where he's storing his bagel.
He needed his hands for things, and so he just put the bagel in his pants.
And he was going to class, he just couldn't find it. Kind of wrap things up. Stacy and Mark try again and start dating, which honestly was how the movie's supposed to go.
Yeah. Well,
Brad,
Stacy even tells Linda, like, I don't want sex, I want romance.
Yeah. And Linda just kind of smiles, like, you finally get it.
Yeah, because she'd been broken up with at this point too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Presumably.
Like, yeah.
Presumably.
Presumably, yeah.
I ran out of stories to tell, so yeah. But he broke up with me so that, I'm the victim here.
Yeah.
Brad's got a new job at he's got a job at like a convenience store.
Yeah.
Spicoli comes in and hey, and he's got to go to the bathroom. So he sends him to the bathroom. Well, guy comes barging in as an armed robber. And it's like Brad's like first or second week. And he's like, this guy's like, I've been staking this place out. I know where the safe is. Open the safe. He's like, I don't know how to open the safe.
I just started.
Yeah. Spicoli comes out and again, hey, which is just enough to like distract the guy, and Brad takes him down.
He throws a pot of hot coffee at his face.
Does. Chucks hot coffee at his face and picks up his gun, and and he's finally like Brad has done something right.
Yes.
Spicoli thinks he's cool for it too, which is the first time in the movie someone's thought Brad's cool.
Yeah. I love them. There's a little moment in there. It's right before the robber comes in where Brad tells Spicoli, because Spicoli wants to buy something, but he barely has any money. And so Brad tells him, like, Spicoli, you got to get a job, man. And Spicoli responds with, all I need are some tasty waves, a cool buzz, and I'm fine.
and he's that's Spicoli. Yeah. He had a dream earlier in the movie that he had won a surf competition. It was on like the Johnny Carson show or something like that. It's because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And so we wrap up with, text over, on-screen text.
As we do in these kinds of ensemble movies.
Yeah, where Stacy and Mark are dating. Brad is now like the manager at a convenience store.
Yeah.
Damone gets busted for scalping, and he's working at a 7-Eleven. Linda heads off to college and moves in with a professor.
Of course.
And it's
Professor Klein.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Spicoli is a surfer who saved Brooke Shields from drowning, and then uses the reward money to hire Van Halen for his birthday party.
Yeah.
Saves Brooke Shields.
Yeah, you'd almost think that if Spicoli, because he interacts with all the characters, but he's almost this like mythical character.
Who,
like does Spicoli actually exist, or is he just this being that sort of floats and inserts himself in these situations? But it's everything with him is so outlandish.
Yeah, I agree. And so that's Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah. What a fun movie. And again, one of those movies that does speak to a certain generation.
Yes.
All right, folks. Hey, every week, Oz and I give our own unique rating to the film we've been yapping about, in this case, 1982's Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Oz, how would you rate this flick?
I'm going to give it 82 scalped concert tickets.
Nice. I like that metric. 82.
Thank you.
Yes.
What about you? What are you giving it?
I am going to go with 8 Hours with Mr. Hand.
Oh, as in the teacher or Brad?
Yes. or relief pitcher Brad Hand. There's also that too.
That's true.
You could spend 8 hours with Major League Baseball player Brad Hand.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want Brad's version of 8 Hours with Mr.
I'm expecting 3 images for this.
I'm just going to put relief pitcher Brad Hand.
Brad Hand.
That's going
that's in. Great. Folks, every week, Oz and I scour the interwebs searching for unprofessional reviews that tickle our funny bones, and we hope they tickle yours as well in this week's edition of Outside Insight. Oz, what is your Outside Insight?
I have a review off of Amazon from Van Hamlin. It's a 1-star review left August 8th of 2018, and it says, "Not a very funny movie. The film impressed me as a film for pedophiles. There were a number of scenes that included gratuitous sex, bare breasts, etc. of very young actors, both male and female. It seemed like the exploitation of actors new to the film industry. In addition, Jennifer Jason Leigh experiences a teenage pregnancy and has an abortion. It wasn't a realistic script. Sean Penn plays himself. There were cameos from future stars like Nicolas Cage. There was no point in the movie where you could say it was about personal growth, a tragedy, or even buddy love. It made Hollywood Nights look like a good movie."
Hollywood Nights.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an interesting comp.
Yeah. There was no personal growth in this movie.
No, none whatsoever.
No, it's not very realistic. I mean, she got pregnant and had an abortion.
No, that can't happen.
That's not realistic.
No.
So there's 1-star review.
Maybe that was Linda that wrote that.
A bit, yeah.
It doesn't last for 20 seconds. It lasts for 45 minutes.
Right. Come on, that's not even real. What do you got?
Well, hey, I got 2 I'm going to share with you, both, as always, from the Internet Movie Database. They are both 3 out of 10 reviews.
Okay.
The first one left by Leroy Marco in July of 2001. Subject line, "Just another teen movie from the 80s. Out of 100, I gave it a generous 57. That's good for 1 star on a 4 stars rating scale." Also gave it 3 out of 10.
Yep. That math ain't mathing.
Don't think too hard about that one. The other 3 out of 10 is left by D. Holland, left in July of 2004. Subject line, "The most beautiful girls meet the ugliest guys." What really perplexes me is how the casting director manages to cast such beautiful women, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Phoebe Cates, against such ugly male actors. Brian Backer would be the ugliest guy in the movie, except that he manages to appear with Richard Romanez, who looks like Barry Manilow and Desi Arnaz had a child. I honestly can't stand to look at him.
So grossed out.
Barry Manilow and Desi Arnaz.
Get him off screen. The humanity.
Oh, poor Brian Backer and Richard Romanez.
No kidding.
Oh, blow to their egos. All right, folks, it is that point in the show you've all been waiting for. The Let's Talk About Flicks signature segment, the 3, 2, 1, in which Oz and I each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1 about this week's movie, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Oz, what are your 3 goods?
My first one is the soundtrack to this movie is pretty incredible.
Yes, that was one of my possibilities as well.
It is, and I don't even really need to go into detail about it. If you haven't watched the movie and you want to skip that and just know what we're talking about, just look up the soundtrack to this movie. Yeah, it's diverse. But we got some new wave, you've got some like California rock, and it's just great.
Yeah, and even some of the references too, like like posters and bedroom walls, like Elvis Costello, Devo, Rolling Stones. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, so very, very good stuff. 2 is Spicoli. Really, if there's any character in this film that is memorable, it's Jeff Spicoli, which is pretty much the whole point of his character. But easily, in my opinion, granted, not Oscar worthy Sean Penn, but I would say if you were to rank the pantheon of Sean Penn roles, this one should probably be top 5. I
Well,
mean,
it's such a memorable role and
exactly. It's
performance.
so memorable. Not Oscar worthy, but it's in some ways it's like the like the MTV Movie Awards version of an award.
Yeah.
It seems to have its finger on the pulse of what people enjoy more than what the Academy enjoys.
You couldn't have nailed it anymore. His character basically put the shoe line Vans on the map.
Yeah.
Just because he was holding the pair of shoes and hitting himself in the head with one.
Right.
Like that moment launched a shoe line that still thrives to this day.
Very much so. And still targets that same demographic of people, that surfer, not stoner, but just that, just that kind of, it's like
that subculture.
Here we are, 40 plus years later, and Spicoli's still wearing those shoes. So that's my second good, is Spicoli. And third is I really like the honesty of this movie. It handles teen sex, abortion, peer pressure, just dealt very frank. They didn't really pull any punches. They just laid it out there as what seems very authentic. And you're like, you can resonate with that it's not there's not a bunch of hijinks, on the way to the clinic or something like that. It's just dealt with in a very sincere way. And I really like that. What are your 3 goods?
My first good, and I mentioned it before, but I think I'll mention it again. I think just one of the moments in this film that is easy to overlook is, again, just that dugout scene early in the film. And again, you're seeing this through Stacy's perspective, the awkwardness of it, the disappointment of it, the just how she, this isn't how this was supposed to go.
Right.
And this is now my lasting memory of, as using a word you used earlier, of a life milestone, and just how underwhelming it was. And again, just the cuts of her while this 26-year-old man is having sex with her, just looking at the ceiling of this abandoned baseball dugout. And again, it's that kind of goes along with your honesty and authenticity good, but just, I guess that's just one little example of that. My second good, let's go with, I'll just go with another moment. The scene in Stacy's bedroom with her and Rat. And there's watching this again, just in prepping for this show, just some of the little moments and the little cuts in this. There's, they're sitting on the bed. She's changed. She's wearing a robe now. She invites Mark to come sit next to her on the bed. They're looking through photos, and they cut to a shot of their feet. And his feet are kind of crossed. When people cross their ankles, that's a sign of nervousness. And she's like, and she's just kind of nervously tapping her foot, and it cuts back up to them trying to make sense of the moment.
Right.
And just how nervous they both were. Even though Stacy was acting aggressively, she was still nervous too, let alone Mark, who clearly was out of his element here. So just another example of how well this movie captures the awkwardness of teenage intimacy, I guess. And then the last one is more of a fun one. And you also briefly mentioned this before, but right after the fantasy sequence, right after Linda walks in on Brad doing Brad things. It cuts to Linda and Stacy cutting at the pizza place at work, cutting this gigantic this pepperoni log.
It clearly got it in bulk.
So just that cut from like that level of, oh, that's what's happening. And now we're cutting a big log. So yes, I guess two sequences of a log getting cut.
That's true.
From one to another. So Oz, what are your
nothing. It popped in my head. Nope.
We'll just leave that one alone. PG podcast. Oz, what are your 2 bads?
My first one, and I mentioned it early, and I mentioned it a couple of times. Yes, these actresses are of age, but they're playing high school students.
Still gross.
And the nudity of high school students, even if they're not high school age students, is still not cool. Like it's like Stacy's a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
And twice you've got her topless.
Yeah.
You've done everything to make this actress look 15.
Yeah.
And then you are exposing her twice.
Yeah.
And they're not just like slips. This isn't like the camera caught a piece. This was ready.
There
expose.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's my first bad is these are teenage kids. There have been, and it's no different when American Pie does it. And it's like, it's just gross.
Yeah.
And I'd hate to, I really don't think we're being old men conservative, blah, blah, blah. This is just, no, these are kids these are people playing teenage kids.
Yeah. There's ways to do what they're trying to do without showing high school characters.
Exactly. If you look,
especially high school females.
Right. Like we're not stupid. We know that high school kids embrace an intimate acts.
Mm-hmm.
You can still show that without showing it all.
Yeah.
And that's where this bad comes from is I won't go as far to say it's gratuitous. It's not like it's not like Purple Rain. It wasn't like completely overboard, but it was still like you could have gotten your point across without trying to get more views.
Yeah. More clicks.
Exactly. Yeah. And my second one is teachers like Mr. Hand. Now I will say that
I was going to go there if you weren't. Yeah.
I will say that there is a little bit of redemption with the Spicoli at home scene, and that he does demonstrate he does care about educating his students. Yeah. But everything up to that is basically you're on my time. Like you were, my time there, and just teachers like Mr. Hand, they're not looked forward to by students.
Yeah.
And I don't think he even cares. I don't think teachers like Mr. Hand care about being nobody should care about being a popular teacher, but the ingredients necessary to be respected by the student body. Mr. Hand doesn't care. I'm going to do what I do. Mm-hmm. And really, if all of you learn history, then I've done my job. But there's more to educating children than just making sure they get your content.
Yeah.
And so teachers like Mr. Hand are my second bad.
You don't shame kids.
No.
You don't shame students.
It didn't work in the 80s. It didn't work in the 50s. It doesn't work now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So my two bads, I'm going to start with, this is going to sound a little hypocritical for a moment. One of your bads was, showing high school characters nude, even though the actresses were of age, not by much, but they were of age.
Yeah.
The studio, despite the fact that they showed two different topless female high school characters, mm-hmm. the scene in the pool house between Damone and Stacy,
right?
The way they originally shot it, again, it was supposed to depict the awkwardness of a teenage sexual encounter.
Right.
They shot it showing full frontal nudity of Damone. Again, not that I'm advocating for again, just going from your bad, but there is a hypocrisy in Hollywood and from the MPAA. So it's okay to show teenage female characters nude, but it's mm-hmm. not okay to show teenage male characters nude, because that they had to cut that shot. In fact, I think they just literally cropped the shot of Damone because it would have put the film at an X rating.
Right. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yeah.
The argument being like, well, we showed the nude chest of both characters.
Yeah.
Like,
So it just hypocritical Hollywood, hypocritical MPAA. Yeah. And then my other bad is just the Mike character, the Damone, just bad guy, bad friend. Don't do that to your friends.
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Damone and Rat do, reconcile there at the end of the movie, but still it's, mm-hmm. I'm not convinced that Damone's learned any lessons.
No, bad guy. Yeah, not a good friend, not somebody you want to associate with.
Right.
Just self-loathing,
Absolutely.
but just covers it by shaming and humiliating his friends.
Right.
You know. So those are my two bads. Oz, what's your
My original was what's this movie about? But I threw that away as it dawned on me as we're watching. How did Jefferson get to school on game day?
I thought about that too.
Because clearly Spicoli demolished his car, and Jefferson reveals his car's in bad shape at school. So how did he get to school?
Well, I mean, there was rumors that he was flown in just for game days.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
He took the team charter.
That's probably. I think that solves the problem.
Yeah,
got it. So, but yeah, that was my is how did Jefferson get to school on game day when his car is destroyed? You could also go that how did Spicoli get the car to the high school?
Yeah,
you know,
I was actually debating on doing the latter as a like, did he have a toad there, like in broad daylight?
Yeah,
during in the middle of school.
How did you orchestrate this from inside the school when he has a hard time orchestrating anything?
I mean, he was capable of having a pizza delivered to him in class.
That's true, and very proud of having that pizza delivered.
I loved him sitting in the classroom beaming, knowing what's happening. He's just got this big stupid grin on his face.
I got you, Mr. Hand.
Yeah. And then the pizza gets delivered, and yeah, it's like he's trying to pull the rug out from underhand.
Yeah. What's your
My is, how does Hollywood decide which characters get named Curtis? I mean, in this movie, Spicoli's little brother is named Curtis.
Yeah.
We had a Curtis in was it Emilio Estevez Stephen King movie? Why am I blanking on the name?
Yeah.
Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of Curtises and Curtis characters in Hollywood. So how do they decide which ones get named Curtis?
That's fair.
Like, what are the defining character traits that goes into we're gonna call this character Curtis?
Yeah, I have this idea for this guy, and I think it'll be Curtis. So
yeah,
that's fair.
I am genuinely curious about that.
It's good.
So, hey, Oz, my friend, that wraps up Fast Times at Ridgemont High and wraps up episode 199.
Yeah, we've got a milestone coming up.
We do, as we head into the final week of education movies here in August of 2025. Yeah.
What do we got next week?
Next week, I think this again, when we think about what movies should be milestones for us, like
we had this chat.
Yeah, Fast Times would probably make more sense in most of these kinds of things, because Fast Times was a bigger name, a more prominent movie. But I pride, and I know you and I both, we pride ourselves on having a Fast Times at Ridgemont High next to other movies that aren't quite that don't maintain their course in the ether. And so we're going to celebrate episode 200 by going to 1994. The Jeremy Piven vehicle PCU is how we will celebrate our bicentennial.
That's what we're doing.
We're gonna watch PCU.
We kicked off the show with Big Trouble in Little China.
We did.
Episode 100 was Dead Alive. PCU.
There's a through line from all three of those movies,
and I will try to discover. It's a very thin thread.
There's not much there. It's not much there.
PCU, guilty pleasure movie.
It is.
This movie it's not good, but it's fun.
Yeah. Well, I watched it last weekend just to kind of it'd probably been a long time. At least 15 years since I'd seen it. And as the name of the movie implies, there's parts of this movie that have not aged well.
Right.
But it does remain a fun movie. And it's under an hour and a half. So
which is about
doesn't overstay its
Yeah. So we will, like you said, we'll wrap up the month. We will cross a milestone off our list, and we will announce the September theme.
Yes, we will.
All next week. I'm excited for next month too.
Yeah, me
That'd be a
too.
fun one.
I just remembered what the first movie in next month is.
Yep.
It's at a 4.3 at IMDb.
Oh, and it's worth every one of them.
Yes, it is.
Oh, social media wise, you guys can find us Facebook and Instagram, YouTube Shorts, all your favorite podcast locations. There is a Patreon link down below. We haven't had a new Patreon in quite a while.
Up. Yeah, ringing our bicentennial.
That's
we
right.
would love to be able to announce a new Patreon
Absolutely.
for episode 200.
Yeah, for sure. And like and subscribe. Even if you don't watch the show, just go to the YouTube channel and hit subscribe.
Yeah.
Like, we don't care. We care. We want you to listen.
Yeah.
But
or even if you don't like us, just quote unquote like us.
Yeah. It helps with our exposure, as again, we're 200 episodes in, and I'm still driving a used car. So like
Daddy needs to get his beak wet.
We're not quite hitting the numbers we'd like to hit. No, again, the numbers don't matter, but it is fun to do this show, and we'd love to introduce more people to, because it's nice having a back catalog now. It's hard when you jump in on a new podcast, like like our friend of the show, Amy Poehler. Good hang with Amy Poehler. It's like you listen to her first episode and you still have time. There's no back episodes to listen to. So you got to wait. Well, we have 198 back episodes to listen to. So
dig in.
Yeah, you got if you've got time, we've got content.
Yes.
So for another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
And we'll see you guys next week with PCU.